Hello, everyone, and welcome to my new tenant. I have no idea as to what kind of game this is. I just saw one singular screenshot slash short video on TikTok. I believe it's some sort of dating slash maybe romance sim. I'm not entirely sure, but I am intrigued to see what it's like because I love games like this. Not long ago, I actually played the Freak Circus game, and it was really fun. I have no idea whether this is finished or whether it's still in progress, but either way, we are going to find out. I might have I might have some struggle. Wait. I might have some struggles reading, just let y'all know. Um so just give me time and I will try my best to read all of it out as best as I can. It's been a couple of months since you moved into your grandfather's old farmhouse. You left behind some things, but nothing you miss. A job you didn't like, a home that was suffocating, friends you didn't really care much for. Worrying parents that still call you several times a week. You're okay with that, though. The night sky is perfectly dark out there. In the middle of nowhere, there's no stress from work, no noise from the city. Just silence and peace, and neighbors too far away to bother you. It's a nice house, and it's familiar, filled with good memories. Overall, this is a great place. Honestly, I don't blame them. I'd love to live in the middle of nowhere. I kinda already do, but I still got neighbors close enough. It'd be nice to be able to shout without anyone complaining. You thought you'd be better here. All that anxiety, the nervousness, and constant fidgeting. And it did. Kind of. But more so in the way that now you're completely avoiding everything that stressed you out before. When you do have to interact with someone, it's 10 times worse than before. I feel that. I feel that. Anxiety is a fucking nightmare. You're not sure you'll be able to ignore this for the rest of your life. Maybe it's time for therapy after all. Yeah, you go. You go get that therapy, man. You've never been to therapy. You have no idea how it works. Yeah, honestly, me neither. Last time I tried to take therapy, they basically just agreed to everything that I was saying. But not knowing that is making you anxious, so you can at least imagine something. I mean, it's really not that complicated. First things first, there's going to be a greeting. You're going to introduce yourself. Oh yes, I get to choose if I'm a male or a female. I would rather be a male. Hey, my name is Jay. Hey, we have a name for the character. The therapist will nod. It's nice to meet you, Jay. My name is. Oh, never mind. I had to choose the gender of the therapist. My bad. You don't have a name for your therapist. You're very bad at making up names. What? Didn't he just say his name? Did I choose myself for the therapist? I'm confused. My name is Therapist. The therapist is going to say, so far, so good. You can handle that. So, what are you here for? Is this like an imagination, like my brain thinking of what a therapy session would be like? Because that's a little bit worrying. Either way. That's going to be a great question. Well, the stress, probably. The anxiety. Maybe the fact that you've also started talking to yourself in your thoughts way more often. Calling me out. Damn. Like, talk, not just forming words, but literally talk with your thoughts like it's another person. The voice in your head is a bit of a snarky ass sometimes. This can't be healthy. No, I don't think it is. Probably. How would you know? You're not a therapist or psychology major or whatever. Uh, no idea how I'll continue after you tell them that. Deep breaths. Jay, deep breaths. I'm still confused whether I'm Jay or the therapist is Jay. Alright, you got this. Tomorrow you're going to look up some therapists nearby and give them a call to find out if they still take patients. I'm pretty sure therapists are always open for patients, so I don't know what they're worried about. Um, I guess I already hate this. Yeah, putting yourself out there is not very comfortable, is it? It won't be easy, but you're sure you can do this. You got this, man. Tomorrow. Tomorrow, you'll get up, eat something, take a shower, just in case they ask you to come over immediately. Again, you got this, my man. Which they might do. How would you know? You've never been to therapy. This would be so much easier if you knew what was going to happen. Deep breaths, Jay. Everything is alright. Ooh. Oh, I guess that's supposed to be breathing. Ha! Yes, that's how you breathe. Ooh. Ha! Everyone, take deep breaths with me. Ooh. Ha! You find yourself calming down just the tiniest bit. Great. Oh, would be great if this wasn't a moment that you hear a noise outside. You're definitely sure you didn't imagine it. There's something or someone out there. Um, yeah, to be fair, if I was in a house and I heard a noise, I'd probably just go outside. So can I just not check? Not recommended. What was the point in giving me an option then? It could be a raccoon or something, which would be fine, but your neighbors told you about bears. Oh, to be fair, that is a bit more understandable. You do not want bears. Yeah, no, I don't think anyone does. It could be. It could also be an intruder, which is no better because those could come into your house. I mean, yeah, but I mean, you just gotta book up Bookerino because I mean, what else you're gonna do? Maybe you shouldn't have moved so far out into the countryside, right next to a forest. It can be pretty scary here. Uh, at least you have Grandpa's trusty shotgun. Um, so not gonna use it. I don't know how to shoot guns. I mean, I have actually shot a gun before, even though I'm British. So yeah, I do know how to shoot. So I'm gonna choose this one. So I'm definitely not gonna use it. Whoever made that noise doesn't have to know that, though. It only has to look intimidating. Yes, sure. You grab the shotgun, whether you like it or not. The weight feels comfortable in your hands. That's not worrying whatsoever. You listen at the door for further noises, but it's quiet. So you open the door as slowly as possible and peek outside. Hello? Anyone out there? Kitten. You listen at the door for further noises, but it's quiet. So you open the door as slowly as possible to peek outside. Nothing. There's no one around, but the noise did come from the direction of the empty barn right next to my house. Maybe something is inside there. You're still convincing yourself that it's just some small animal as you approach. Small animals sound like the best option right now, next to it being nothing. But it's something. It's a damn large shadow that twitches in a corner when you peek into the suspiciously open barn door. Who's there? Come out! You don't sound threatening. You sound like someone who did not want to check the barn at night, who definitely doesn't want to shoot. That's crazy. Yeah, no, that sounds like me. The someone or something doesn't move. Still, you're sure it's there. I have a gun. Come out or shoot. No, you won't. But you do raise the shotgun just a bit. The moment you do, there's a growl. It's a deep, throaty noise, and you're immediately sure it's not a wolf or a dog or a bear. There's no way for an animal to make such a human sound. But then again, there's no way for a human to growl like that either. Oh god, you want to leave. But you don't. You stand your ground, shuffling the tiniest bit to the side while totally not quivering like a leaf in the wind. That is me. I know this isn't like the same situation, but that is literally me whenever I get a wasp in my caravan. I had a wasp come in here one time and I was literally ducking the entire time because I was so scared of getting stung. You find the light switch. Click. The light shouldn't be affecting your sense of smell, but only when it's on. Giving you a visual input. Wait, what? Wait, let me read that again. The light The light shouldn't be affecting your sense of smell. Why the fuck would it why would it affect your sense of smell? Anyway, but only when it's on, giving you a visual input, do you realize that it smells like iron. Well, yeah, the blood, I guess. There's a bright red trail running from the barn to the entrance, where the figure is cowering on the floor. It's definitely not a small figure, and you spot the heavily bleeding gashes on the side immediately. Yeah, my man's is hurt. You gotta go help him. You'd be shocked seeing something bleeding this much if you weren't shocked by the one bleeding. Yeah, I was gonna say, it's literally like a monster. It's a man, you think? Well, maybe they're more accurately. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that's not like the first thing that would come to my mind if I saw this. And it's not happy to be disturbed. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Several eyes, you count 4 pairs, are staring at you, teeth still bared in a growl. In this situation, why on earth would you go out of your way to count how many eyes it has? I'm sorry. I forgot this person's little Lulu. Dangerously long horns and spikes run from its head down to its back into a scaled tail that is raised in a threatening twitch. The long clawed fingers are digging into the ground. The creature is terrifying, yet no shit. Um, but it's hot though. It's crazy. No, it's hurt. I'm gonna try play this realistically. I'm not gonna fucking simp on the fish as soon as it comes into my barn and is bleeding all over the floor. Pity and worry for the pain of a living creature manages to dampen your fear considerably. There is a lot of blood on the floor, so the wound can't be small. It also has to be hurting a ton. You let your eyes wander over the creature, trying to locate all injuries, and momentarily finding yourself transfixed by the gorgeous icy blue eyes that are staring you down. I kind of thought it was going to say something else for a second there. I know this might be a freaky game, but I'm hoping it doesn't go straight into the freaky. So beautiful. As you're staring, fascinated, the thing lowers its growl into a rough rumble. You snap out of it, finally taking a moment to assess your situation. This is not a human. Um, hmm. Really? Really now? That's crazy. This is not an animal either. This is, in fact, not a being that you've ever expected to see outside of a movie or drawings, and yet it's here. This is a monster in your barn, and you're not going to question that for the moment, because if you think too deeply about it, you're going to have a nervous breakdown. Okay. The creature doesn't look hostile, more wary. It's still bleeding, but now it's slowly moving its weight away from the injured side, sitting up. You can see its legs, formed different from yours, much more suited to walking on all fours. It doesn't look as odd as you thought it might be. Such a thing should look. You try not to stare too hard and keep your voice as calm as you can. Can you understand what I'm saying? One of the 2 pairs of ears twitched forward. The growl quiets further, now pretty subtle. The creature continues to stare down, skeptical. You have a feeling he understands you? That's one very judgmental gaze right there. Come on, man, I'm not fucking picking that one. But you didn't even do anything. Yeah, this is the one I'm gonna choose, thank you. It's more realistic. Well, you've been staring pretty hard, and that comment did sound like you were questioning its intelligence. And to be fair, maybe it always has that judgmental look about it. You wouldn't know, you just met him. The man, you decided to call it for now, doesn't honor you with a response. You give it another try. Do you need help? Huh? Bleeding out on the floor. I'm sure he's fine. Yeah, sure. More ear twitching. Finally, he stops growling. He just exhales through his nose audibly and shifts his weight further. He's leaning against the barn wall now, 2 eyes moving to look at his wound while the rest keep staring at you. How is his brain processing the information of them all looking in different directions? I mean, he's a creature. I'm pretty sure he can do that easily. You'll have to look up how chameleons do that. Bro, he's not a fucking chameleon. Anyway, he seems to have judged you as not a danger to himself. Well, I'm sure glad of that, Buccarino. I mean, honestly, look at our character and tell me that they'd even be able to hurt this fucking monster. You're about as dangerous as a fly, so he's right about that. With the man seeming more approachable, you decide to squat down. When trying to approach frightened and hurt animals, it's best to make yourself as small as possible. You're not sure about frightened or animal, but the man sure is hurt, so the concept should be familiar. You get a frown in return for your movement, then a wary growl when you put down your shotgun. I'm not gonna hurt you, see? I put away the gun. Praying you don't regret this. You're hurt. Can I take a look? All eyes return to focus on you. The bleeding doesn't appear to have stopped, and the man is suddenly beginning to look rather exhausted, wary. I mean, to be fair, the guy's been standing, well, technically sitting there for a hot minute, just bleeding. I mean, you can't really blame him for being woozy. You've seen your grandpa take care of sick animals before. This isn't a look of surrender, it's the look of someone giving up. He doesn't even react anymore when you shuffle forwards, just letting his head fall to the side a bit, eyes almost closed. It'll be alright, hopefully. That's a lot of optimism you got there, my friend. Up close, the man is twice as beautiful. Come on, bro. There's just enough human about him for you to regard him as humanoid, but enough animal or monster to feel foreign. You've never seen anything like him before. You've thankfully seen bad injuries before, because wow, that looks nasty, considering your previous job. So you're not put off by the stench of iron. The wound looks bad. It's hard to tell underneath all that blood, but it's mangled, like you'd expect a wound to look after an animal attack. Maybe one of those bears? You don't exactly have the ideal equipment to treat a wound like this at home, but you do have enough that you can get him patched up. The rest will rely on his own healing powers, which are hopefully better than a human's. A human most certainly wouldn't survive this outside a hospital. But a human doesn't have 8 eyes and doesn't not react to pain at all. What the fuck? The grammar? Jesus. So you're pretty optimistic. Yeah, I'm optimistic. I'll be back in a moment. I'm going to get some things to help you with that wound, okay? You think he understands, judging by the way he exhales through his nose again. The man monster lets you do whatever. He watches you with a gaze of someone fully expecting to be stabbed with a knife at any second. Surprise starts to mix in when you don't do that, instead nudging him carefully so you can work on that injury. His skin is cold, like that of a reptile's. When you get him to move his arm, his stomach reveals tight lines of muscles and the lack of a belly button. Your focus could be on the latter, but since it's you we are talking about, it's not. Um, those abs. No, no. He's not exactly wearing clothes. Okay, that's a little bit more safe. We are not like we okay. Consent is sexy, guys. Please, for the love of God. Even if you have a sexy alien fucking fish monster in your fucking shed or whatever, do not fucking touch them like that. That's not something you should probably do. Anyway, he's not exactly wearing clothes, like at all. Um, well, yes, he isn't. But there's nothing revealed that shouldn't be revealed. True. You could say that the scales and plates on his skin are his gloves. Don't think too deeply about his anatomy. That's going down a rabbit hole. When you're done with the wound on his waist, you check the rest of him. There's streaks of red blood on his face, where his fingers had dug into the ground. Bloody drops have colored the earth darker. You wipe away what you can and let him lie where he is, breathing shallowly. I think I said that right. Shallowly? Yeah. All eyes almost closed. Dude, Loki just wants to fucking give up at this point. It's alright, dude. This character might be weird, but I'm sure they won't let you die. Something tells you that he's resilient. He will make this with some help. Food and water, shelter, time, safety. To not be found by wild animals, or worse, humans who would love to get their hands on a thing that has never been seen before. You can offer him that. Him being hurt means he would stay a while. Obviously, he can rest here. Yeah, this. Um, yeah, the second. I hate. No, don't be creepy. Don't. I'm not gonna be creepy. Obviously, he can stay here. You're not going to throw out a hurt person. Not when he's being docile. You can stay here if you'd like, as long as you don't hurt me. I don't mind you occupying the barn. A single eye opens, focusing on you, then another hoof. His tail whips around to his side, the tip coiling on the ground in front of you. I'll interpret that as an agreement. He doesn't respond anymore. Little by little, all tension leaves his body. He's tired from whatever fight has caused his wounds. He needs rest. His body tilts over to the side once again, curling up tightly. You haven't killed him so far, and even if you wanted to, he's not in the mood to put up a lot of resistance. He's sleeping, or passed out faces, so much softer. You hold back the urge to touch it and leave him alone. I was gonna be so mad if you touched it. Just don't. Hey, if the monster exists, then maybe the voice in your head you've been talking to. Wait, let me read that again. Hey. Okay. Hey, if the monster exists, then maybe the voice in your head you've been talking to is like another person. Maybe it's not weird after all. No, it is. It is weird. Honey, I'm sorry. It is weird. Wait, does that make it worse? Yes, of course it does. You sleep fitfully that night, dreaming of eyes and slivering scales. Ugh. When morning comes, you're almost eager to check if last night has been a very detailed hallucination. On the way, you pass by the bloody tissues you've thrown into your trash. Not a dream after all. I mean, shouldn't you see the monster? I was gonna say, never mind. When you check on the stranger, he is where you left him, almost shuffled off to the side, a bit more hidden away, but awake. Probably startled by the noise, he quickly gets up. The wariness, thankfully, passes almost immediately. Oh, recognizing you, he tilts his head, and a thin, forked tongue slithers out between his lips. The pale tongue is gone before you can really look at it. Was he sniffing the air just now? Snakes mainly smell through their tongue. You know that. You have knowledge about snakes. That's so cute. Stop. That, to be fair, that is kind of cute. I will go for the top one. That's so cute. You like snakes. Their scales feel nice, and the little tongue flicks are absolutely adorable, especially on tiny snakes. Even though this is a very tall man doing the same thing, it still enhances his cuteness factor by a lot. You wish you could take a video of it. Back to the topic. The main point is, the sniffing isn't a threatening gesture, quite unlike the growl. Although, to be fair, there's so much more different animals mixing. Can you even trust what you know? I mean, from what I can tell, there's definitely a mass match of whatever animal this is. You can see it more as a greeting. That's what you decided to do, at least. Compared to yesterday, he looks more relaxed. It probably helps that you didn't try to kill him yesterday. I bought you some water and a meal if you want any. You don't even need to tell him that. Two eyes are on you, two eyes looking around, and four are fixed on what you're carrying, all the way until you put it down in front of him. You have no idea what the man with fur-like hair, who growls, has scales, horns, 8 eyes, and 4 ears might eat. Honestly, probably meat. So, you didn't bring only water. You also brought milk and juice just in case. And the plate is a carefully balanced mixture of meat, vegetables, fruit, egg, and bread. Without hesitating, the man goes for a hard-boiled egg first, appearing confused for a moment when he notices the inside is not fluid anymore, and follows it up by meat. You observe him as he eats. He's not purely carnivorous. He eats the fruit next, then the vegetables, and even the bread, after some suspicious licks and nibbles. His tongue flicks out to lick over his lips several times, long and thin. It doesn't match the rest of his mouth. You leave him to his meal, mostly observing his preferences but not bothering him. Once he's done eating, it's time to check on his wounds. Can I check how your wounds look? He shifts the tiniest bit. A yes, you think. This time, you say your thoughts out loud while you're working. How the wound looks, what you're checking. His ears flick and twitch, and all 8 eyes stay focused on you. He's listening, but how much he can understand, you wouldn't know. He has yet to give you a sign. This is looking good. It stopped bleeding, and there's not a single sign of infection. I don't think you should move around too much, though, or you might tear it open again. You sit down in front of the man. Well, since you might be here for a while, let's get along. My name is Jay. Okay, there's the confirmation I needed. I am Jay. Jay is not the therapist. I mean, I should have probably gathered that considering they were talking about having voices in their head. I just wasn't entirely sure. I live here alone, so you don't have to worry about anyone else seeing you. My neighbors are pretty far away. We don't really interact a lot. You babble on. It's easy to talk to someone who is listening but not commenting. I don't get visitors either, mostly because I don't spend a lot of time with other people. People are scary. The way his gaze turns absolutely incredulously. What is that word? The way his gaze turns absolutely incredulous. There we go. The way his gaze turns absolutely incredulous at that statement almost makes you laugh. You scared? Hey, you got your confirmation that he understands you. That's cool. Oh, he said you're scared. Okay, I wasn't too sure. Seriously? I'm usually super awkward around others. Can't get the words out. I can't see that happening, is what his gaze says. Your existence is so surprising that I'm finding it hard to get scared. Like, my brain isn't exactly treating this as if it's real. That is a pretty dangerous mindset to have. What even are you? And what's your name? Do you have a name? Can you say it? The man looks at you for a while and growls. Not growls, though. It's a very specific growl with an odd intonation, and it's hard to describe, but you think it's an introduction. Yeah, I can't pronounce that. He thinks again. Then he speaks, which is a nice way to say that he imitates the sounds of words the same way a parrot might. There's something actually pretty cute about that. Varen. Varen? He doesn't correct you, so you must have managed to get it somewhat right. Maybe this is how you pronounce his name in human language. Cool, nice to meet you, Varen. You're starting to realize that Varen is actually very expressive. You can basically tell what he's thinking just by looking at him. You're odd. Rude. Damn. Did you say that? Such a rude person, I swear to God. His eyes, his ears, his tail, and the way he tilts his head, and even the crease of his mouth are constantly conveying messages to you. It's so much easier to read him than humans. How is the monster easier to read than humans? Humans? What are you doing? Stop being so complicated. Oh yeah, thinking about humans. You're gonna postpone that therapist. Yeah, yay! No, no. You need help. You need help. For the love of God. I mean, too bad. Back to business. For convenience, do you think you could talk to me directly? Head tilt. Is this really necessary? Fair point. You're not having a lot of problems reading him. But I want to hear his voice. I'm just going to look silent. I'm just going to look silently disappointed. But I want to hear his voice, or I'm going to look at him disappointedly. Um, want to hear his voice. I think that's not too bad. When he said his name, his voice had that dark, raspy tone that you admittedly. Wait. When he said his name, his voice had that dark, raspy tone that you admittedly. I can't say that word. Admittedly, whatever, had a bit of a thing for. Of course you did. It's a. It's a shame to communicate non-verbally when he sounds this nice to listen to. Oh god, I wish I picked the other option. This is creepy beyond comparison. Fine, I'm convinced. You've got permission to say so. Wait, what? Permission to say so? Whatever. Either I don't know how to read, or this is just really bad grammar. Your voice is very nice. I want to hear more of it. You didn't need to make it sound so lustful. Look, now he's back to judging you. You grumble a complaint. Am I not allowed to voice my opinion? Baron relents with a human gesture, rolling two of his 8 eyes. You humans are complicated. Baron speaks slowly, but makes sure to have every word pronounced correctly. There's not even a lisp. It seems he knows all the words, but needs a bit to get used to them. Actually, his mouth moves very little when he talks. Maybe he has another way of mimicking your language. You try not to get giddy at the fact that he's fulfilling your wish. You have about 4 dozen questions, but you need to ask them one by one. Priorities. We sure are, but you? About you? Do you need anything? Like a blanket or a mattress to lay down on, or... Four of his eyes jump down to the empty plates on the ground. Food. Still hungry? I can get you more. What do you want? Eggs. I've got one more hard-boiled egg and 2 fresh ones in the kitchen. How many do you want? He looks at you. How many? So many. I guess I'm going to drop by one of my neighbor's places after all. One guy has a chicken farm. I can buy a lot of eggs there. The owner is very quiet and doesn't care about anyone's business. He's not going to ask what you need a lot of eggs for. The thought of dropping by gives you a twinge in your stomach, though. Are you hurt? Huh? You notice you've wrapped one of your arms around yourself. Awkward. You wave them around to show you're fine. Oh no, not hurt, just anxious. But I'm going to get you a meal, so I can do it. No problem at all. The attractive... Of course. The attractive monster in the barn wants a meal, so you're going to get him a meal. Soon. For now. Other than food, are you okay here? Baron nods. I need rest. He gingerly puts one hand on his waist where the bandages are, covering up his injury. You're going to get him a meal in a moment, but his sleeping situation is more or less covered. He should totally sleep in my bed. No, he can definitely stay here. That's the one that I'm picking, because last time I picked the top one, God, that went horribly wrong. I'm not gonna make that mistake again. You're not about to throw him out after all. Or ever. The barn is yours. I'm not using it anyway. Baron nods in satisfaction. I will pay you back. You want to say he doesn't need to do that, but there's a calm determination in his voice that stops you from saying anything. It'd be an offense if you denied him that. Well, once you're better, will you be called out here? He huffs. Most certainly not. You're tempted to procrastinate visiting your neighbor further, but the gorgeous monster man wants his meal. Of course he does. He needs to get substance in his body. To your surprise, you managed rather well. Your neighbor assumes you've got visitors over, according to a comment he makes, and you don't correct him. Your monster is waiting for your return with his head raised and tongue flicking out repeatedly. Damn, I'm not gonna lie, that is actually really cute. I absolutely adore snake tongues. Lunch is here. You act like you've been calm all along, but it's the sight of the not-human who's soothing your nerves. You hand him the basket of, what, a dozen raw eggs? He picks the first handful of eggs eagerly, holding them to his mouth. His jaw unhinges. There's a lot of snake-likeness in the movement, though the teeth he shows are decidedly not snake-like. Behind a row of sharp carnivore teeth are little spikes covering the entire inside of his mouth. Standing up further, the more he opens his mouth, if he bites into something, it's not going to free itself without flesh tearing viciously. His mouth closes around the eggs with a crunch. Something tells you he could do the same thing with a skull. Okay, but that's still. I swear, what? I'm gonna lose it with this fucking character. I mean, he'd be a good protector. Oh god. Um, I guess I'll go for the first one. Why not? You have some very interesting tastes. Aaron is very busy finishing his early lunch. By which I mean you have a solid 3 minutes just to stare at him until the basket is empty. Jaw back in place, he looks at you with some eyes, not all of them. He likes keeping a watch on his environment. Why are you helping me? The more he talks, the smoother his words come out. You're marveling at the sound of his voice until you register what he's asking. Huh? Humans don't like strangers. He's very right there. If there's one thing humans can't stand, then it's things they don't understand. If it's a living thing, an intelligent living thing, then it's worse. You're not scared. You were, but before you saw me. With him slowly, deliberately pronouncing every word in this low, rumbly voice, you're getting a whole live ASMR experience. Yeah, I was worried that there was an intruder, which, okay, you are technically an intruder, but I mean, a dangerous intruder? Jay is testing the waters, Jesus. Unhinged jaw skull breaker, which you technically are. Um, what I'm trying to say is, I was scared that you were to be something or someone who wanted to harm me. I'm not scared of a bear because it's a bear. I'm scared of being attacked. And you aren't attacking me. I could be waiting. Oh, wow. You could be. It just doesn't feel like it. I'm not making a lot of sense, am I? I don't know. You awkwardly laugh and play with your sleeve. Sometimes you're so bad with words and explaining what you mean, you don't make any sense. Baron takes longer to reply this time, searching for the right translation. Trust can only be earned when given. I couldn't prove that I won't harm you unless you give me a chance. Which you did. Oh. Embarrassment flushes your face red. You start rambling immediately, as you tend to do when you're nervous. Honestly, it's because of your looks. Us humans are totally superficial. Nothing pretty or cute is dangerous. So I came in expecting an intruder, and then I saw you, and sure, you're very obviously not something I've seen around, so I should have been worried. Wait, I'm confused. What? What does my character mean by that? Like, because he's a monster, they're not scared? I mean, I would be absolutely terrified, honestly, if it was me. Anyway. But also, you're insanely gorgeous, which makes me go pretty things can't be dangerous. Well, why would you say that to a stranger? A monster, even. Like, no. All of Varen's eyes blinked, one pair after the other, the whole row down. From what I know, humans don't like. He fails at trying to get together what he means. His eye narrow in thought until he has the words to put together. You don't like things that look like humans, but then not completely. Or like uncanny. Fake human bodies made from wood and other materials. Or art everywhere on your skin. Or even humans with different colors. Dolls, tattoos, and skin color. He's got a point there. You're going to find a ton of people who don't like the uncanny valley of dolls, who think tattoos and piercings are ugly, and who are just plain racists. That's very real. What he apparently doesn't know is that there's an equal amount of people who do like it. Beauty standards are a very subjective matter. Some people like it different. There is plain curiosity in Varen's voice. He's not teasing you or trying to be mean at all. Like you. Um, I'd probably be silent during this, so awkward silence is the best choice here. No answer is also an answer. Baron can tell that much. Honestly, having all 8 of his eyes on you is a bit unnerving. Feels like your every movement is being observed and judged. Every little awkward fidget you're doing. Thank you. He leans forward a bit, and you try not to squeak. You don't appear dangerous either. Yeah, because you're weak. I mean, most humans are. If I was against this guy, I just die. And your eyes are pretty. Oh, did he just. Do not squeak. Do not squeak. Why do you have to think this? Oh. Why do you have to think that to yourself? He only replies to your comment about pretty things can't be dangerous. Does he really think you have pretty eyes? You have to look away for a moment to breathe. Since we talked about me being scary, what about you? How did you come to hide in here? And speaking of, why didn't you attack me? Burin's nose creases slightly. His tail flicks around in unhidden agitation. There was an intruder, one of my own, for my space, home area. Your territory? An area that you've marked as yours? Yes, we thought I won, but he wasn't alone. Implying that after their fight was over, more intruders appear. Call him. You got injured and had to retreat, landing you here where you hid away. Wait, how many of you are there? Baron mimics a shrug. How is it that there's a whole species out there, even having territorial fights, and they haven't been found yet? Although, maybe they have, and it's been covered up. Better not to ask too much. I can't kill a human. I could have fought back if you attacked, but more might have come again. I also cannot hunt. Too many questions. Can't hunt? Why can't you kill a human? Could you tell? Couldn't you tell? Uh, I would guess why can't you kill a human is the most important one. It's forbidden. If we kill a human, your species will attempt to destroy us immediately. You've got nothing to say to that. Okay, you can't hunt? You were bleeding a lot, but you already healed up a ton. It looked back to me, but was it that bad for you? Ah, I need too many words I don't know how to explain. I can move, but not a lot. I'm healing, but not yet on the inside. I can only heal this quickly when I can sleep. To summarize, while it looks like today he's almost fully healed already, that's just on the surface. The injuries run deeper, and he can't walk, let alone hunt, which means he was risking starvation without support. Couldn't you tell I was the only one here? I guess I get to ask all the questions. Yes, but humans have ways to call others, even from afar. Phones, of course. If he's not entirely sure how the technology works, then he has to be wary of you doing something and there suddenly being a whole horde of humans. In the end, what was your plan? Hide away from the intruders? That much, I get. But wasn't it a bad idea to do so close to humans? They won't come close to here. The most dangerous place can be the safest one. And I've watched this place. It's my territory. You rarely left, and only during the day. I believed I had a chance you wouldn't notice. You sure are getting called out today, aren't you? But you are. If you hadn't been awake in the middle of the night because you were too fidgety to sleep, you definitely would have missed the noise. And since you never ever entered this barn, you wouldn't have found him either. Good thing for that. For once in my life, I left the house when I didn't want to. Baron gives you a look for that. If this is the territory you live in, then we were practically neighbors. Are you going to reclaim it from the intruders? You pray he's going to. You don't want him to get into another fight, but the thought of him living nearby and maybe dropping by once in a while is nice. His throat rumbles slightly. Yes. The condescending gaze was hot. Determined, proud, and slightly aggressive gaze is hotter. Don't you dare twirl your hair and giggle like an idiot. Hold it back. Awesome. That means I'll continue to see you around. Yes. Yes. You're definitely always welcome here. You grab his hand in excitement. Baron twitches a little, far eyes peering down, but he doesn't pull back his hands. You only vaguely notice how he curls his fingers a bit, twisting the sharp nails away from your skin. He honestly looks a bit conflicted, which in turn makes you awkward. But pulling your hands away right now might be more awkward. Sorry, is touching no good? His expression eases up. He moves his fingers again until they're resting more comfortably without risking hurting you. It's alright, I was only surprised. So he's not against this. That's good to know. The soothing tone he has taken makes you relax. You're still holding hands, by the way. And you aren't planning on letting them go. You have little scales around your fingernails. Great observation, Jay. Proud of you. Perfect thing to say here. You have scales on you. It steadies the claws. Oh my gosh, he calls them claws? We use them to fight. Unlike you humans are soft compared to us. Hey, I've got some muscle. No, you don't. He looks over you. You feel a shiver go down your spine when he hums thoughtfully. Soft. Alright, if he's into soft, you're perfectly okay with being soft. Another pair of eyes drop down on your hands. 3 pairs now, still holding your hands. This has been okay while he's ignored it, but now that he's staring, you jerk your hands back, laughing awkwardly and rubbing them. I guess since humans use tools, we don't need hard claws, but I'm a bit nervous. I think the tiny scales are cool. You show off your hands pointing at your fingernails. Honestly, you have no idea what you're talking about right now. You're only attempting to get past the awkwardness. In the middle of your rambling, Baron touches the hand you're holding up and gently tugs it towards him. He holds it carefully, rubbing a thumb over your fingertips. Sorry. I can't fucking do that. You're certainly no fighter. How do you keep yourself safe? I don't go outside, so there's no threat to my safety. Baron looks troubled. And if you do have to go out, like yesterday, if it had been something else, not me, uh, he huffs. You need someone strong to watch over you. Make sure you choose a partner that can protect you. Wow, okay. But partner? He's still playing with your hand. Oh my gosh. Someone, help! Mate? Companion? Oh, a husband. There's a really great husband candidate sitting right in front of you. Very strong, very hot. Of course you would think that. You try hard not to choke when you somehow simulate. You try You tried hard not to choke when you somehow simultaneously have to swallow and laugh. Oh god. This is this is interesting. Do you have one? It gives you a tiny shake of his head and lets go of your hands. Some of his eye dropped down on you, his expression somewhat resigned. Not me. It takes you a second to realize that this isn't him answering your question. It's him responding to the thing you didn't say. What, about him as a candidate for you to date? This is technically a rejection, so you should be feeling bad, but you're not, because you already noticed he is very expressive. And right now, he doesn't seem to be happy to be rejecting you. Can I ask why, if you don't mind me asking? Baron seriously studies you again, then taps a finger against your arm. Even with you wearing long sleeves, there's a distinct difference between the build. I think I might accidentally hurt you. What actions exactly are we talking about that would cause him to accidentally hurt you? I think you know. I'm sure that's not right. You're a very kind guy. I doubt you'd be that careless. He doesn't believe you at all. It's fair to say that this guy could, without wanting to, squish you to death, but you've seen no signs that he'd treat another living being that roughly. You rack your brains on how to prove that to him. How about a hug? You can hug me, and you'll see that I'm not fragile. His tail flicks around for a while. Once it settles, you can read from his eyes that he thinks this isn't a completely stupid suggestion, at least. You open your arms wide. Harry moves in slow motion, circling his arms around your waist and pulling you over with the least amount of strength possible. To your surprise, he pulls you all the way into his lap, making sure you're settled comfortably before he tightens the hug just the tiniest bit. Frankly speaking, you never let the guy go if staying like this was an option. His body temperature is colder than yours, but not uncomfortably, just the tiniest bit cool. He's all smooth muscles and those hard scales, like plates, that make you want to let your hands wander all over him. Okay. What? How the fuck did we get here so fast? I'm sorry. I will say one thing about like dating sims. I love them to bits, but I kind of wish that they would actually spend more time before getting this far into the story because it just isn't realistic. And it's fine, it's fine. I'm enjoying it. It's very interesting. You're not going to do that, but you do wrap your arms around his neck. Still alive? You announce the fact that you're still breathing and feel an amused huff of air against your ear. Baron does tighten his hug, but not without pausing constantly, checking your reactions. Compared to you, this guy is a gentleman. You lean back a bit so you can look into his eyes. Oh well, at his face in general. His tongue flicks out again, which is up close, seriously cute. You barely restrain yourself from touching his lips. You really have no fear. You're just not particularly scary. You've been nothing but courteous to me. Restrain yourself from touching his lips. Please don't touch his lips. Baron's eyes narrow a bit. You may be restraining yourself, and I'm proud of you for that, but you're not exactly a subtle person. You're exceptionally bad at hiding where you're not. Wait, you're exceptionally bad at hiding where you're trying not to look, and something tells you that Varen is very much aware of it. He's still debating on what to do about it, judging from the look on his face. You do know this guy can literally watch the movement of your eyes, hands, and overall body at once, right? There's no hiding that suspicious shifting. Give it up. He noticed already. Varen's nose taps against yours, by which I mean he is really close to you. I don't know, you're human courting. Well, is this an invitation? I don't know. Wait. Let me read that again. I don't know, you're human courting. Well, is this an invitation? Court. You don't choke on your own spit. Congratulations. But you do turn bright red. Why are you embarrassed at all? You already talked about the possibility of him becoming your partner. But the word courting is tipping you over? Oh my Jesus Christ. Please don't forget that he asked you a question. I don't fucking remember the question. The top one? You answer with a vague sound. Because is he asking if this is an invitation for what you think he's asking? Or is he asking for something completely different? And speaking of inviting, would it be bad if you were inviting him? Your thoughts only get so far. Oh, Jesus Christ. Farron has none of your nervous hesitation. He simply tilts his head slightly, and the cool surface of his rough lips brushes against yours. How how did we get here? How did we get here? Oh, how did I choose to get this far? I'm fucking dying, bro. You freeze out completely. There's no force behind the gentle kiss, and the way his arms loosen around you gives you enough space to escape if you wanted to. You don't. You relax your tension in your muscles and lean forward a tiny bit, pressing your lips closer together. A little shiver runs down your spine when you feel the cold tip of his tongue licking them slightly. Wait. A little shiver runs down your spine when you feel the cold tip of his tongue lick them slightly. Baron certainly knows how to kiss someone, you realize. If you weren't sitting already, you'd be feeling your knees go weak when his tongue enters your mouth teasingly and tickling, wrapping around yours with a flexibility that's just not possible for a human. You almost want to complain when he pulls away, but the low purr of Aaron's voice keeps you quiet. Breathe. Yeah, how did you say it? Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. Everyone breathe with me. You inhale. He licks the trail of saliva not only from his urn, but your lips as well, causing you. Let me try that again. He licks the trail of saliva not only from his own, but your lips as well, causing your breath to get stuck in your throat again, before he looks at you with an indulgent sigh. If you suffocate from it, if you suffocate from a kiss, I was just unprepared. You grumble, hiding your face inside the nape of his neck. Are you this intent on courting me? You mentally exchange the word courting with the more comfortable flirting. If you don't like it, then I won't. I don't not like it, but I've only known you since yesterday. Thank you, for the love of God. Please, finally something normal that you've said this entire fucking time. I mean, I'm not expecting anything right now, but we can continue to get to know each other, and you continue to come by, even after you're healthy, and get your territory back. One of his hand touches the back of your head carefully, brushing through your hair. If you want that, I do. Then yes. You hug him tighter, sighing with relief. Probably this won't be the right moment to move away from his lap. Change the topic, do something else. But you're unwilling to move. It's comfortable here. Despite your worry that you'll push him. Wait. Despite your worry that you'll push him off. Despite your worry that you'll get pushed off, it doesn't happen. Baron only makes a low sound again, like a purr, and continues to brush his hand through your hair. Your monster, you can't help but think, is a very gentle one. Damn. Is that it? Wait. Oh, I didn't save any of it. Um So it didn't have many other options, but I guess when you do the hot thing, you kind of just dominate him a little bit rather than be dominated by him. But it was still really fun. I don't know if there's going to be any more of this or if there's a second part to this. But if not, then I hope you enjoyed watching me play this. It was pretty good. Had a few laughs. But make sure you give me a like if you liked the video and leave a comment suggesting anything else that you would suggest I play, whether it's this related, like the romance or whatever. Bye bye.